Ohio Tiger here. Today I want to talk about Japanese language schools in Japan because the first thing you're going to do, depending on if you come here for work or whatever, either way you're going to have to learn Japanese at some point. I spent like 2 years learning Japanese in America. Then I came to Japan. When I first came here, I landed in Yokohama, which is like in the outskirts of Tokyo. And I went to the YMCA for school. Japanese language schools can charge you easily between $300 to $600 just for the short course. The long course is kind of like college, so you're going to pay an annual fee. You're going to pay like $100 application fee, and then you might pay like $10,000 to $12,000 for a year, or depending on the course you pick. And these, if you pick like that's like the intensive course, so like it'd be a year and a half. And they have like a little bit longer course. It's going to cost more. It'll be 2 years. Yeah. So I took this short course, right? So that was around $500 to $600 a month extra. And like, the thing that's kind of for me it was kind of shocking was like, okay, when you get to high school, you rotate classrooms with different teachers. In Japan, they rotate teachers. In my mind, that actually kind of makes more sense. But I was surprised at first by this because I didn't expect it. I expect to have one teacher the whole year, right? So I guess it made sense in terms of substitution. So one teacher's sick, you have an extra teacher. Anyways, I didn't adjust this well because I had two of the teachers were good. One teacher wasn't very good, and she was just like on Thursday, right? So I was talking to the manager, and I was just like, well, I'm going to miss Thursday because I'm not benefiting. I can't understand anything at all that she says on Thursday. And, you know, I'm in class for like 2 hours a day, right? I don't sit there for 2 hours and not benefit. I was like, can I just pay less, like not pay for Thursday? And the manager's like, no, you can't do that. I was just like, okay, then I'm just not going to come on Thursday. That's all. He's just like, well, you can't do that either. I was just like, or I can go to a different school completely. He's like, no, it's okay. You just don't have to come on Thursday. I was like, okay, that works out. And I did that for like a few months, you know, and it was really hard to adjust to in the first place. Like, the pacing wasn't too bad, you know, but it was kind of slow. It really depends. Like, if you're really lucky, you'll have maybe like 6 other foreigners that are learning Japanese, so like the pacing will be a little better. If you're really unlucky, you'll have like 16 extra foreigners, and so the class will be really painfully slow. And I was really unlucky, so I had 12 to 16 extra foreigners, so like the pacing was pretty bad. And like overall, in that particular school, the teaching wasn't the greatest either. Definitely better in America, but still not good enough for me to actually really grasp concepts or ideas. So in the end, I quit that school hoping that the next school would have like maybe just one teacher or 2 teachers, and they had like more of a better system where like if I didn't like a day, I can like cut it off and not actually have to pay for it. Okay, the next school I went to is called Arc Academy. And the teachers were a lot better. The staff outside the school was a lot nicer, and the student-to-teacher ratio was much improved. Actually, I went to that school for like 2 months, but ended up quitting that school because we moved to a different region closer to Tokyo itself. So we decided to move actually down south because Yukiko had a house, and why pay rent when you have a house, right? So we moved to this house, and I decided to do the long-term program. It was like a year and a half, but the pace was really heavy. This was like down south YMCA again, and the pace was really heavy. The books we used was Minna Nihongo, and I really didn't like those books because they separate everything. You have a book for grammar, bunpon. You have a book for just, you know, your practice. You have a book for the words. You have a book for the explanations, and you have a book for anything else, for kanji, whatever. So you had like 7 books just for like the first part, right? The next part required 7 more books, and you're buying these books, and these books are just as expensive as American college, right? So the books were terrible, and the pace was ridiculous. Like, honestly, this was my training in how Japanese school really go. So we'd do like literally a chapter like I think every 3 days or something like that, which required about 25 words, to learn 25 words per day, 5 to 10 kanji per day, and like I said, one chapter like every 2-3 days. So the pacing was so fast. I think I made it like at least 2 months before I finally like changed programs back to the slower pace one. So yeah, and in the end, like we end up moving to Osaka after like 6 months or something. What I'm trying to say in this video is, if you're coming here just to visit, short-term pacing is better. And if you're not really sure about the long-term program, I'll just take the short-term, pacing for even 3 months. Just get a feel for how the speed and all that, teacher and school, if you like it. And if you find it's actually easy or too slow, then you can adjust to the long-term pacing in Japan, because it's a huge commitment. It's a lot of money up front. And if you decide to quit in the middle, you're not getting your money back. Whereas the short-term pacing, you pay as you go. So you're gonna pay monthly as you go. So even if you quit, throughout a month, you might get some of that money back. And it also depends on the school. If you're in the Tokyo area, I recommend the Kai school. It's up near Shibuya, somewhere past that area. That's a school I went to for a short period of time, and it was really good until I moved down south. Anyways, that's it for this video. Also, I highly recommend just learning on your own, because you know yourself better than anyone. You know how you learn, and you can go at your own pace if you learn by yourself. Peace.